What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of R&B Reviews. I'm Brinder here with Ridwan, and today we're talking about Thor: Love and Thunder. Before we get started, we want to ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. We're just trying to grow as much as we can. We do still do this for fun, but it's nice to see that stuff, seeing what people like. We have trivia challenges and other reviews as well, like Multiverse of Madness. For the trivia ones, please let us know if you like what you're seeing or if you have suggestions, because we want to do more of those and we have ideas for that. But yeah, let's get into the review. How'd you like it, man?
So for the movie, it was completely mid. I would say I didn't like it. So I actually came with my cousins to watch the movie, and then like after watching the movie, I actually wanted a refund. Like I felt like it was like a waste of money almost to watch the movie because it was just so average. Like the movie didn't come off as sick. I didn't feel like it was like I didn't have that Marvel effect when I like walk away from like
average
a Marvel movie.
Or like bad. Like a refund is like a bad movie.
So mid, like because you know what it is? It's like a bias. People have bias towards like good movies, right? Like when I go out to watch a movie, I only want to go out to watch a good movie. Like I don't want to go out to watch an average movie.
I'll make the reference. Like Drake, you expect greatness.
Yes, I expect. Okay. So if it's like average, I'm disappointed. Because like I had to go out and watch the movie and pay and buy popcorn and stuff like that. So that's why.
Especially because the last Thor was really good, right?
Yeah, the last Thor was way better. I think this was more like follows the characteristics, not the characteristics, but like the quality of the first two Thors. The last Thor, I feel like I could see how they try to correlate and remake the masterpiece of the last Thor, but I feel like they failed.
It was the same director.
So
there's that.
I'll get more into that. But how did you like the movie?
So I did enjoy the movie. I just thought it was more like Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald, where it was kind of all over the place. Like I was watching it and there was good moments and then moments like, what's going on? Like what are they talking about? Like why are we here? Stuff, and I was just questioning it. And I would like verbally, I don't like to talk during the movie, but I would verbally say it so the people I'm with, like they're like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, or it's this. They'll explain it to me. But that's how I felt. Like I was like some moments I'm like, come on, bro, don't do this, do that, like, or what's going on here? Things like that. I did overall enjoy the movie. I don't think I'm like in a rush to watch it again. Starting out from the beginning, like the Guardian scene seems really like quick to me.
The Guardian. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just like they were just like fast forwarding.
And now that you mention it, because we recorded before or we spoke about this before, the Guardians scene was like the most rushed out of any scenes. Like they're literally trying to say like, yo, how can we get these guys to split up as fast as possible?
Yeah.
And like obviously like the Quill part where you can tell like he doesn't want Thor to be on his ship anymore, so he's kind of trying to push him off. But like it was such a weak way to write Thor leaving, and it's such an awkward situation, which was meant to be that, but like it just does it so badly. Like I feel like they could have done it way better.
Just a quick point, how did you like the goats, the screaming
goats? Goat, I was so cheesed. I was actually, the thing is, at first I was like, oh, okay, they're kind of funny, like, but then after a while I was like, yo, why would you write this into your story? Like this is it's annoying to have the goat screaming throughout the whole movie. I know you hated it. You had to have hated it.
I kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of funny. Like I don't know why they land on the moon planet or the shadow planet and then they
start screaming.
They just start screaming. It's kind of funny, and which is weird because I hate Zenitsu from Demon Slayer when he cries. Like holy, it's just so annoying. But this is kind of funny. And apparently they're based off of the mythology of like Thor. Like he rides
like a real thing.
Like a real thing.
And they actually scream?
No, they don't scream.
Oh, okay.
This was like Taika Waititi's like idea, I assume.
The thing is, in the beginning, joke was funny when he's like, oh, like if they if whatever we don't like them, we could just use them for meat, and then they stop screaming.
Yeah.
That was funny. After that, I was like, yo, why are you having them through the whole movie? Like I found it annoying. You didn't find it annoying?
No, I kind of liked it. I feel like the movie was like, when I say all over the place, like we had good points where like Jane's background story, but then when we don't even see her like turn into like Lady Thor, nothing like that. Like Gorg, he had a good plot line. He's killing the gods, and then he takes kids, to the last like stage for I don't know why. Like I feel like that would just slow you down.
When you say the last stage, what do you mean?
Like when they're in the chamber at the end.
Yeah.
Why bring the kids there? You already got what you needed, I don't know. It's just like
Oh, after they were hostage.
After they were hostage, he got Stormbreaker, and then he brings the kids.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like
Yeah,
weird.
that doesn't make sense.
Like Lady Thor, when she has cancer, like I understand that was a really good thing that came from the comics itself. But it was like she was in stage 4, and then she randomly says like Mjolnir called out to me, and it was like a whisper I guess she heard, and then she checks like these Norse books, and she sees Mjolnir, and then she sees health, and then like healing or whatever, and then she goes to Norway, I think it was, and sees the broken hammer, and then it kind of like lights up, and then she has the powers, which was weird because we didn't even see the transformation. They kept that away from us because they did record the scene. But I don't know. It felt weird. What did you think about it?
Now that you mention it again, like the transformation would have been sick to see. Before I didn't really think much of it, but then I could imagine like her, like the pieces come together, her holding the hammer and the like strike of lightning like coming down.
Yeah,
at least that's how I would
like
imagine
her flying a little bit in the air.
Yeah, that would be sick to see. I felt like because I didn't know it was coming, like I felt like her transformation was just like like she's like Thor now, like she's like Lady Thor now.
But you get to see the image, like the transformation would have been cooler, you know, like
it 100% would have been.
Yeah,
but I don't know why they did it. The thing is, they which actually I'm so glad you brought this up because they showed parts that were irrelevant. Like remember when they were acting? Like she goes to Norway and she watches the
play. Yeah, the play. But that's kind of funny. That's a theme throughout
the play was movies. So long though. Like the play was so long. It was long for all. Like they could have shortened that play and then showed like why have that play for so long. Like I felt like it was so unnecessary.
It was like a running joke from like the previous movies. But you're right. It was kind of long. I like seeing like that, but not too long. You are right in that aspect.
I feel like, and then the fight when Lady Thor first fights, like Lady Thor and like Thor. I felt like that fight scene was like choreographed well, but I don't like when they have like monsters as like villains. Like they have to fight like those little monsters, shadow monsters. It just doesn't hold any weight in like a movie. Like to me, I don't know why now. Like when I watch a movie and I see those, it doesn't mean anything because like they're just like they're vapor. Like those. Like the loss doesn't mean anything. I know they're not gonna kill anybody. Like they just seem like so weak. Like the adversity is so small compared to like everything that you could go up against. You know what I mean? But maybe it's because it's a Marvel fatigue. Like, do you feel like did you? It
might be a Marvel fatigue for you, but I've been waiting for like Marvel stuff, and because I have theories, so I want these theories to pan out or see if they don't or how they don't. So yeah, I kind of like look forward to it, but I don't pay any mind to the shadow monsters whatsoever. Like it's not even a thought. I didn't even think of them at all. Like you had the thought process of thinking like these guys suck. I didn't think about them at all.
Like they're just irrelevant, right?
Irrelevant. Like they're whatever. But back to the Mjolnir thing, like I just don't understand. So she was sick. Jane was sick. She had cancer. She's in stage 4, and then Mjolnir calls out because we're shown later in the film, Thor has whispered something, and he says a kind of a command like, "Oh, protect her if I can," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And which doesn't make sense because if the hammer is able to work still, why not work for Thor? Like if it still has the magic, still has the power, why not still help Thor? Thor needed you when Hela was there. I understand Hela smoked you, but if you still got the power, come through. Like what's the issue?
That was confusing as to why it didn't like work before.
And if you can work and you're whispering, why whisper at stage 4 if you know this person's like slowly
dying?
I don't know. It's sentient somehow, right?
Yeah.
So if you can sense like they're at stage 4, they're super weak. Why not call it stage 2 or
but
1?
the hammer doesn't help her with her cancer. But I wonder if it doesn't
maybe could have helped earlier.
Yeah, that's what. You know? What if it could have helped earlier and like now at stage 4 it's like
which
too
is
late.
weird because it is supposed to help. They were saying that like it's actually accelerating her when she doesn't have it.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to help. Like you have the powers of Thor.
That's what I was thinking. Then they said, it uses your human energy or something like that.
Yeah, and like what I was saying was like when I was talking about this during the movie, I was saying like if the hammer doesn't make sense whatsoever because Odin is the one who says whoever holds this shall have the power of Thor. They have to be worthy, right? So why is it that Thor can put a spell on it? He shouldn't have that power. But especially at that moment when he was dating her, he was super weak. He wasn't even like Thor of Endgame or something like that.
Maybe he put the spell on it, but like she's still worthy. Maybe she's still. I think like when I looked
She
at
wasn't
it,
worthy before. I swear there was there might not have been, but she wasn't worthy before.
maybe Thor changed her. I feel like at the time she held it, she was worthy.
Okay, we'll say the worthiness, like that spell goes away. But why is Thor able to put a spell on it?
How hard could it be?
You have to be Odin status.
Does
And he
it?
definitely wasn't. He wasn't even like this Thor status.
Do you feel like that would be the requirement for this?
Yeah,
For
so like, because if because he lost all his powers.
Yeah.
Thor was able to take. I mean, Odin was able to take Thor's powers away. Like we know Odin can't do that. In this film, we've seen Thor hit certain certain things that Odin could do.
Yeah.
The spell from previously, and then he said whoever holds these things shall have the power of Thor for a limited time, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So he gave it to the kids, but like we never seen him like grasp that, and I don't understand where he got this power from because we've seen his power up for Endgame.
But maybe the spell, like, because when did he specifically say a spell, or did he just say protector, and then the hammer just said, "Yo,
He
I'm
said
gonna listen."
protector, but that's the spell. Like you were just talking to the hammer.
But maybe the hammer just likes him and says, "Okay, I got you."
But
that's how I took it.
If the hammer likes him, why not help him?
That's the vibe that the writer gave to the movie. Like, oh, like the hammer just like the hammer is a living being. But you're right.
It's a weak point.
Why didn't it help? I don't know. But I think it goes back to the writer where for this movie, I feel like he let a lot of holes. Like there's a lot of holes in a lot of his plots.
The Stormbreaker getting jealous of Thor talking to Mjolnir.
Yeah.
That was funny, but it was dragged on. Like,
It was super
They
dragged
had
on.
like several scenes of it, and I'm like, holy, like, can we just move on?
I think it was too much, but I think he was trying to make it give it that same charm that the last movie had, but he just did too much with it. Like the last movie, it was perfect. Like they had a mission, they had a goal, like they had all these different things to work towards, and like the chemistry between each of the characters was good. But I think the chemistry for an inanimate object was maybe like just too much to write something good about. I feel like the one thing, going back because we didn't say it in this, like there's some good points actually that we have to like repeat is like the Greece, like when they go to like Greece and stuff like that. I think that part was like
the city of the gods.
The writer was like did his best work in that section of the movie. Like he highlighted funny jokes. They had like a goal. Like it felt like everything that they were doing was way more structured in that section of the movie. I think that was the best section of the movie.
I don't know if it's the best, but it was like interesting. I really wanted to see like what type of gods. I just didn't like the type of gods, like the feeling gods, god of dumpling, like so useless. Not even people. Like it's just randomness.
I'm not surprised. I knew they were gonna make it PG. I would be shocked if they added like someone's real god in there because I knew the outrage would be like coming. So I was shocked.
But isn't like people are saying like these are mythical gods.
Yeah.
But like, isn't there still like some people that believe in like Thor and stuff?
I guess not enough for them to not put that on.
Care?
Like
because I always
guess,
think the way that they interpret these gods, like there's still somebody's got like Thor, Loki, Odin, and stuff. Like they still belong to a certain group. So
I think that group is probably so small and people don't respect their beliefs at all.
It is older now.
That they're like, yo, like if you still believe in that, like you're crazy. Like that's probably what their viewpoint is. And they only added Zeus. And Zeus, the thing is, there's probably no negative connotation for adding certain mythical people in text. Like Zeus, like having Zeus in like movies isn't like frowned upon or like looked
Not
down
anymore.
upon.
And it's because they don't have like the following that they used to have.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of like gods were certain like either old civilizations used to worship them or just like there's just less people that really care, I guess.
But I wanted to see. I was so cheesed. The fight with Zeus. I guess I'm skipping a couple scenes, but the fight with Zeus, I think should have been way better. Like I wanted to see a super sick fight between Thor and Zeus, and make Zeus
100%.
like be like kind of like original. Like show me, yeah, he's old now. Like I understand that, but show him as his original like power, or like show that he is Zeus. Like this is Zeus. You don't have to show him in shape, but like kind of create a better fight. Don't make him fight Thor and the minions, and then have Thor defeating Zeus.
Those random gold minions.
Yeah, like I'm so cheesed about that. Like I felt like it should have been greater. Like I was excited to see that fight, and it felt.
Yeah, I wanted to see like a Zeus from God of War instead of like Russell Crowe as like the older Zeus, which sucks. I guess they were still going for the comedy. They loved the comedy aspect. I think they just they're like, oh, they see what people liked about Ragnarok, and then just went overboard. Like there's still a balance you need. You know, you can't just make everything a joke. But I get exactly what you're saying, because during when he was like chained first, when he says, "Oh, like I looked up to Zeus, I looked up to Zeus,"
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I can sort of see it like that, right?
Yeah.
Like say an NBA, like LeBron's son says, "Oh, like I like Steph Curry," like that's
Yeah.
understandable, you know, it happens. But then like Zeus is like, "Yeah, who is this person?" Like whatever, and he's chained up. Like the man saying, "I'm not gonna help you. I don't give a shit. Screw those gods." He killed like pathetic gods. I don't care. Yo, you can go Thor mode. You don't need your axe. Like, why don't you just lightning up? You
And
know,
then break through it.
your eyes go blue. Like, man up, do something. You know,
Does he? Can't he only go in Thor mode when he's in an emotional state?
which that was him like breaking open. It's like going Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I would assume it'd be like that. He was emotional to the point where he went that stage, but he had to unlock it, and he knew he could unlock it. He did it against Hela on the bridge. He unlocked it to protect. But now, like, I feel like it's been years later. He says 7 or 8 years exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like you should be able to like do
Unlock
it now,
that power?
You know, like on command type thing. That's how I expected it. I don't understand why he didn't fight him. I don't understand why Zeus was like such a coward. And they kept saying like the Gorg's sword was the Necro sword was the only way to kill a god.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess they said Thor's not a god. So Zeus can't die. So all these gods can't die because they're not getting hit with a certain sword.
Yeah.
So why do they think they killed him? When they had the Zeus blade and they shot him to the chest?
That's a good question.
Why do they think they killed him?
That's a good question.
I don't get that.
That's a good question.
So
I think it's because of
Zeus.
Zeus, because I thought he was dead too.
No, I didn't think he was
thought
dead.
he got
I was like, you guys established the rule that this sword is the only thing that can kill the god. So
And then
why
hit
do you
him.
think he's dead?
I actually thought he got packed. So now, honestly, I should have like peeked that, but I actually didn't peek that.
Yeah, that was annoying. Like I actually got cheesed at that. I don't know why. Like that was like that stuck out to me.
If the fight was good, I feel like that would have paid off. Like if they had like a one-on-one, you know how they had Thor versus Hulk, like Thor versus Zeus, like have a one-on-one sick fight.
And it would be more serious because at this point, like Thor's not just fighting to survive or fighting to like try to get back to Hulk's good side.
He's fighting to save people.
Like he's like, yo, you guys don't take this serious. Like this is an actual threat. Like gods are dying.
Yeah.
People are disappearing, etc.
That would have been sick. They fumbled the ball. I think they really fumbled the ball. But then they try to make it up to us by having the end credits saying, "Oh, it's a spoiler for the end credits." But Hercules. Did you watch the end credits?
Yeah.
Hercules wants to fight, or Zeus is getting Hercules to fight him. But I'm hoping they take that serious and they don't play like games with it.
I'm 100%. I feel like they're just gonna play games with it because from like the phase 1 to 4, like the growth. Oh, another point of Thor, like the growth. It seemed like he got like stronger, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like the storylines are adding Hercules, which is like I feel like lesser storylines. You know, it's not as
like
big.
Hercules doesn't match the power of Thor.
He doesn't he shouldn't. But then it's like Thor digressed. This whole movie like. He seemed like he got super strong during Endgame, and then he dipped down. Now he's like still like being childish, being a kid. Like I would think some growth that they had. I think they just knocked all that down.
Honestly, I didn't watch the earlier Thor movies. Like I couldn't watch like all of it. Like I watched some of it at like a dentist appointment.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I only see Thor from like the third movie to like or the last movie and this movie. So like his maturity seems like similar to me.
Maturity seems. Does he seem as strong?
No, he definitely seems like
weaker
from the beginning, like or to now. You know what? You know what makes me cheese because he was fighting the Necromancer or whatever Gorg, and he wasn't like winning the fight.
He wasn't dusting him.
And I was like, yo, this guy just say whatever. He had the sword for like 2 years. He just has the sword. Like this guy's been fighting people for centuries, as far as we know, for centuries.
He said 1,500 plus years.
Yeah, so like, why is he struggling? Like so much of the stuff that
and he has Stormbreaker now. It's not even Mjolnir.
That's what makes the movie so weak. Like, so a lot of this stuff is just like, you're right. Like they weaken this character, but not even in a pursuit of a better story. Lose to Gorg.
And the fight versus to Gorg he should be able to dominate, but I guess the sword, like they'll say the sword gives him powers, and it's like okay fine, but like him versus Zeus, I get he's your idol, but I feel like he should be on par or a step below than Zeus now.
Yeah,
because Odin when you talk about the MCU at least, Odin is in terms of a pyramid he's on like the fourth pillar, right? Maybe I saw like a certain pyramid. Odin is so strong that there's rumors that Thanos didn't make his move because he didn't want to deal with Odin. So that's how strong Odin has. The Odin Force. He can fight. He can't beat, but he can fight off like the Phoenix Force, which was supposed to be an entity like for the whole universe. But now my aspect is like, oh, okay, Thor's dad died. Odin dies. Thor is getting stronger. He unlocks abilities where he's like, I am Thor. I don't need the sword. It just helps me out. Now I buffed up. I Super Saiyaned it. Yeah. Now I'm like, all right. So when do you reach Odin level? When do you get the Thor Force? When is this happening?
Maybe he never does.
Zeus versus Odin. Odin slapping. No question about it. It's not even close. So now it's like Zeus versus Thor. Like, why wouldn't you fight him? I know he's your hero, but
just to interject, I think the battery died, so the rest is gonna be just audio.
We can't charge it, Andrew, huh?
But you can continue.
All right, yeah. Well, yeah, I just don't understand like the power scaling, like and it's big in terms of superheroes and like anime. Yeah. So like that's something you have to like take into consideration, because he's supposed to be super strong and stronger than Captain Marvel, less than Wanda now, but I just don't understand it. I didn't like that aspect.
I feel like
I don't even think they took into consideration.
I don't think power levels. Honestly, the way this movie was done, I don't think power levels was even like considered or like
the joke. Any thought process. All about the joke.
It's just all about being funny, which I think they made me laugh, but they didn't make me laugh. As the thing is, certain movies like they have like a laugh per minute, like or like comedians have a laugh per minute that they have to follow, right? Mm-hmm. So this movie had like. With movies, you have the leverage of you don't have to fulfill an X amount of laugh per minute as long as you make the other parts of the movie entertaining or like not a joke. So the amount of jokes that I laughed to the amount of jokes that they told, like it was just a low ratio of like laughing. Yeah. So I think they did.
Ragnarok was much higher.
Ragnarok I was laughing the whole movie, and I felt like the movie was so serious.
I actually saw a TikTok where they were comparing. This was before I even watched the film, which kind of sucked.
Yeah.
They were comparing. They're like, Multiverse of Madness, this is a director taking a mid script and making it better.
Yeah.
And then they're saying the Thor script is like bad / mid, and the director making it worse.
I think I wouldn't know. The thing is, I just don't know the difference in like what each role of like the person in part of the movie does. I know the writer, like I feel like I can only judge the writer, but I wouldn't know how the director would play a role. Like I feel like if the writing is bad, like the movie's gonna be bad. Mm-hmm. So I like it's hard for me to find a way to associate blame. Like the writer though, like it was written poorly. It was written with not much thought, or they just got lucky on the last movie and this movie just didn't hit for them.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But it was just like whoever made the movie, like they fumbled. I personally think they fumbled. But you said you liked it.
I did like it. Yeah, there was like it's not like a bad movie. I feel like I dread watching Ant-Man, but I wouldn't when I rewatch this, I wouldn't dread it.
I liked Ant-Man.
It's sort of funny.
Ant-Man was funny.
Ant-Man was alright.
I watched Ant-Man 1 and 2. I remember I watched Ant-Man 1 and 2 before a big movie that we were going to watch. Because I never watched Ant-Man before, and we're going to watch one of the movies, maybe Avengers. And you guys are like, oh, you have to watch Ant-Man to understand what's going on.
Yeah, you would.
Maybe it was Avengers. But I liked it. The characters were funny. You didn't like Ant-Man?
It was alright. Like, it was, Hope is the...
You like Thor more than Ant-Man? You like this Thor more than Ant-Man?
I like Thor movies way more. I liked the first Thor a lot. The second one I liked. The third one I really liked, and then this one is like, I liked it.
The thing is, I didn't watch it in theaters. Like when I watch a movie in theaters, it's completely different for me. I think because I could watch a movie at home and think a movie is good, but I think what happens when I watch it in theaters, I do that. But when I watch it in theaters, I'm like I have a higher expectation because I'm paying a lot for it. I could watch it for free at home.
But it's only $15.
No, $15 plus popcorn plus everything.
You don't have to buy popcorn.
If I go to Cineplex, I'll never buy popcorn.
Yeah.
If I watch this movie in Cineplex, I'd be sick. I'd be disgusted. Cause Cineplex, you have to sit in the uncomfortable seats for like 2 hours to watch a movie. Like no, it would be way harder to watch this movie in Cineplex.
Another thing I want to touch is Korg in the Sea of the Gods, where Zeus is like, "Who's talking?" and then Korg's like, not me, it's these.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
But what about like so his species, apparently they don't have any females, so it's all males, and then they reproduce by holding hands over a rock.
Yeah, I know why they did that. I think.
How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I didn't feel any type of ways, but like, it's hard for me to watch that and think that like, oh, this is like this wasn't a way to like kind of like introduce like an LGBTQ scene like within the movie.
Yeah, so you're saying it seemed forced.
I don't want to say it seems forced because I'm heterosexual, any homosexual act that's in a movie, I'm gonna pick up on it right away. Like there's not, I don't think there's a movie where like now and like that I would watch it and be like, oh, that's natural. Like every single movie, I'm gonna think that it was like injected into it, or there's like a lot of thought that went into it.
Yeah, that like we need something to represent something. So I think it was sort of forced, like a little bit. It was still funny nonetheless. I didn't feel any types of ways. Like I just took it as, oh, this is a little forced, but it's Korg. Like
I think it's impossible for it to not feel forced if you're like used to like older movies, because you go from a generation where it was never in any movies, like it's crazy if it's in any movies, to a generation where now like each movie has to have one scene.
But the Valkyrie thing didn't seem forced. She's a lesbian, and I don't think that was forced.
Was it not? I don't even remember. I know she is. In this movie it wasn't forced, but maybe because I knew she was from the last movie. I'm not 100% sure. I think
it was the last movie that showed it.
I'm trying to think of like movies where, or I guess Hunter x Hunter, it wasn't forced. So I guess it's possible to.
What's in Hunter x Hunter?
The not Killua, who's the clown guy looking guy.
Hisoka.
Yeah,
that shit's mad.
That's not forced.
That's not even LGBT. That's like some pedophile
stuff.
Like,
yeah. He's crazy. But like, I wonder if like I watch a movie and think like, oh, this is. I feel like my kids will watch a movie and then they'll be like, oh, like yeah, like that's like it'll be normalized for them because it'll be like everywhere. But like I feel like in like Marvel movies, I think we'll see like a lot more of that. Even in like Avatar, Legend of Korra, like they said that at the end of the movie, they said like she was like
that was weird.
She was bi.
Yeah.
But like they never showed her as bi until the very last scene.
End.
So like that, I never understood. I never understood.
Even the girl that she went with into that universe or that realm
didn't seem like
they were both dating guys.
If they did that, honestly, the Legend of Korra seems like she would be bi, but they didn't lead her up into that before that scene. You know what I mean? Like her character, like looking at her, I'm like, I could see her being like that, but like before that scene,
what are you saying? There's looks?
They didn't show her. I just think like she gave off that vibe a little bit, but I don't know. Like now, like I feel like we'll just see like more of that stuff in like movies. Like,
so another point, to like a main point for the Thor: Love and Thunder that like I was questioning out loud was like, why wouldn't Thanos just do this? And I'm sure I know a lot of people are doing this. Why wouldn't if Thanos is Thanos? We'll say Thanos is smarter than Korg, right?
Yeah.
Or Gore, and he knows about what's in the universe. He knows about these stones. Why not go see Eternity?
I'm confused.
Eternity grants you one wish. Oh. It's the middle of this thing. Why not go see Eternity? Screw all this other stuff and just half wish it.
To be honest,
you don't know, but
it's the same. They're the same. It's the same goal.
It's
like
easier.
You get the same result.
No, it's easier.
But you have to
know. It's one wish, but it's easier.
How did he know that he needed Thor to see Eternity?
That's the argument. You wouldn't know until you got there and saw it on like the inscriptions or whatever. And Thor at this moment doesn't have Stormbreaker.
I feel like honestly it could be written away. Like that's not the reason why I don't feel like it's a contradiction or an issue is because like Thanos probably found out about the stones, the Infinity Stones, and then like fixated on getting all 5 Infinity Stones. I feel like it's easy in hindsight.
So you're saying he doesn't know about Eternity?
He just didn't know about Eternity at the time.
He's an Eternal.
He spent his time looking at trying.
He could have just gone there and wished for the stones. Why collect them? Why spend so much time and years?
Maybe he didn't know how to get to the one wish, or maybe he just didn't believe in it.
So I think so. The only
even Thor, didn't they bring it up to Thor and Thor said that doesn't exist or that's not true or something like that?
No, I think Zeus was saying like he'll never get to eternity.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking about Gore. But like it was super easy for Gore to do it. So why
He
wouldn't Thanos
tricked
be
he
able to do
tricked
it?
Thor.
No, he tricked Thor into getting the hammer, but to get to eternity, it was super easy. Not even a question. I
You
think
needed the hammer to get to eternity, you know?
you needed it to unlock, but to get to the area, easy. But the reason why you need the hammer is because it's
The Bifrost.
the
kid.
Bifrost, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like Thanos would also know about eternity because the eternity is the brother of forgetting her name.
Wait, did Gore carry? Because he carry the Stormbreaker?
Yeah.
But the Stormbreaker, you don't have to be worthy to carry the Stormbreaker.
No.
Oh, okay.
Because Odin hasn't put a spell on
Okay.
it. If Thor can put the spell on it, why not just put the spell on Stormbreaker and then he can't use it?
Maybe he just doesn't want to.
Look at that plot hole we just
Maybe he just doesn't
came up together with.
But maybe he just doesn't want to.
Why not?
Because he doesn't have the same reason to do it like Odin did.
He knows Gore is after Stormbreaker.
Yeah. Well,
So
later. He knows during the fight.
No, he knows prior. Oh wait.
Because they're in the room, on the moon, and then he ambushes them.
And then Lady Thor throws it away.
And then at the very end, like something happens and he drops. I can't even remember.
He calls it back. Yeah, you're right. That's not a plot hole. Okay, but I feel like Thanos. I personally think it is a plot hole because I feel like Thanos would know if you know of the girl that I forget her name. It's a female character. It's the sister of Eternity that creates the stones, right?
Yeah.
So if you know about the stones, you would know about Eternity. So if you knew about Eternity, then you would just go to Eternity.
I don't get how if you know about the stones, you know about eternity.
Because it's like me and you are brothers.
Yeah.
You have stones. I have one wish to grant. You would if you know about the stones. Why would you not know about the one wish? He's an eternal. Like he's on Planet Titan. He's very smart. He's a very smart guy. He's smarter than Gore. So if Gore knows about it, I feel like
we have to figure out how Gore found out about it.
The sword. I feel like the sword. The sword is the only answer these guys have. Oh, it gives him powers, Shadow Realm, this crazy fighting ability.
How do you find the sword?
The one god like killed the guy with it before.
Yeah.
And then when he was talking shit to Gore, he like picked it up or it called to him.
Oh, okay.
So it's sentient as well. It's kind of like the sword that the Black Knight carries.
Yeah.
From the end of the Eternals. So it's like that. They didn't show too much of it, but in the comics, it's more of like has its own idea.
Can we talk about how Gore has so much hate for these guys that he didn't even think about wishing his own daughter back?
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's understandable, but it's just so crazy. Like I don't think that's a plot hole, but I think that's just so crazy that he hated these guys so much that it didn't even cross his mind. Like when they said, "Oh, why don't you just wish your daughter back?" He's like,
"Cause the sword is like sort of possessing you. It is changing you."
Does it change you?
Yeah,
is it corrupting?
It is. I think Thor says it specifically. Like it's something that corrupts your soul or something like that. So it is going up, and like I feel like you just see red. Like I'm slaughtering everybody. Imagine that happened to you, and like the god's just talking shit. He's just talking shit.
But you couldn't hear it.
No, he said it to his face. He's like, you guys are only worth praying to us. And that's it. I don't give a shit about you. That's what he was saying. That's why he killed him. He stabbed him in the neck. He's like, it's over for you guys. Then he started killing all the gods, which was okay. And then I feel like you just see red. I understand his motivations completely.
Yeah, after he lost his daughter.
But when they got to the end, I knew they were gonna be like, why don't you just wish her back?
Really?
Yeah, I knew it. Like I was like, yo, this is gonna be late. And then Chekhov's gun. You know how that I keep talking about that, like that theory of like if it's presented, it's gonna have to be used. Otherwise, it's like there's no point in presenting it.
Yeah.
They mentioned, Korg mentions this when he's talking about how his people make kids.
Yeah.
He was talking about you think Lady Thor and Thor are gonna have a kid, and then Valkyrie's like maybe or something like that. And I was like, okay, like this has gotta happen. You guys can't just tease this shit. And then at the end, I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's gonna wish his girl back, and then Thor's gonna have. I'm like, holy fuck, I don't want to see that.
I didn't mind Thor having a kid.
I want him to have a kid, but I want him to have his own kid.
Oh,
I want the lineage of like
to go down.
the Odinson to continue. It should happen.
It could have happened, to be honest.
It should happen, especially with somebody he actually loved. Like that would have been made more sense. But Natalie would have had to survive. I don't understand why Thor didn't go to Eternity first. He had him beat. She was dying. Go say and
that's a waste of a wish.
It is.
I'll be honest.
No, but he could have said something like all cancer disappears. No more cancer. Something like that. Like, it helps everybody and her at the same goddamn time.
You know what? When I was watching that scene, I was thinking, how disrespectful would it be to
just
people with cancer if you wished that, like, if her cancer was wished away, like in the real world, like people would be looking at that like, dang, like I wish I could wish like my parent or whoever, my loved one's cancer away. Like it's just like a stab in the heart.
Imagine Twitter.
That's why I was waiting. I was kind of waiting to see what they did with that, with her cancer, because I'm like, if it would be a stab in the heart for certain people. So I kind of knew they weren't gonna wish her cancer away.
I was hoping, like, my end goal was like, okay, wish her better and then have a kid together and then you guys do damage. That was like my goal, but like I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, don't do this. Come on, man. Come on. This is ass. And then now he gets Love. Love is her name. Love is another being, sort of like Eternity and whatever. But in this aspect, I guess she's a little girl now.
Is Gorg human? Is he just a human? Gorg, yeah.
Yeah. No. Might not be a human. But he's a humanoid person.
Oh, okay.
Might be a different planet. I don't know.
That little girl seems just gonna be mad annoying.
I don't understand where so she got first. This is the first time we've seen somebody come back to life.
I guess if you don't count the snap and then the undo snap.
Yeah, that was, I guess they go to the soul realm or whatever. But this is like the first time, like, because the snap wasn't able to bring back Natasha. She died.
Okay.
So we know those stones aren't powerful enough to bring back life, but Eternity is. But it was only one wish.
Yeah.
So okay, and then
garbage wish, I think.
Huh?
Garbage wish. And I low key, I was hoping that like the movie would take a twist and Thor would do something like Kratos would do, but it didn't happen.
Why would it? Well, like what?
I can't lie. Like it would be more interesting if he packed the kid.
That's crazy.
Like for revenge, it would be more interesting. The story would be more interesting, more dark. The movie theater would be like, oh my god,
everybody would hate him.
Go crazy.
He's a hero.
Everyone will go crazy, but the story would be way better.
I don't even think Kratos would do that. The kid's innocent. He's not doing that.
Kratos went to heaven one time and killed everybody in there.
Yeah, so he did what Gore tried to do.
So he could become sinful and save the world or something like that. And that was in heaven, so it doesn't even sound like they get a second chance. It was the craziest.
No, it wasn't heaven. It was, he said, I'm gonna go to Olympus and kill all the gods. For the same reason Gore said. You guys.
No. This was on the PSP.
I didn't play that game. All right.
But yeah, I'll continue. My fault.
But why didn't Thor just make the wish? Like I understand she was down.
Yeah.
But she said go. Like he's going. Like just go. Just beat him. He was already on the floor. Just go deal with it. Like that's the one. If I'm in that situation, that's my main thing. I know like she's down. Wasn't he
everything ahead of her? Wasn't Gore ahead? Like
Gore was on the floor.
Right, he was, by like, the wishing up thing.
And he's like, almost at it. Oh, blah blah. And then he crawls up and slowly walks, and he's like walking like he's just took a beating.
Oh yeah, and then he's like, because he wanted to spend his last moments with like Jane.
No, that was inside. Outside of the thing. He was like walking back, like he's looking at Gore, and he's walking back to Jane. You could have went, and even if it's a shit wish, you could have done it.
Yeah.
And Gore would have lost. But now we ended up with this shit ass result. While Eternity brings back what's her face, Love, she in the silhouette, she looks like Eternity's silhouette, like the galaxy and stuff. So did Eternity just give his life to her?
No.
Or why would she have that silhouette?
I feel like that. No, but I was confused because Eternity's silhouette looks like that one thing from Eternals, that one monster that was on Earth for Eternals. No, or am I wrong?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Remember Eternals, the thing that got like rocked into the Earth. Remember, like they come from the sea. Like, because they were about to destroy, and it was about to come from the earth. Like, it was gonna grow. It lives in the earth. That isn't Eternal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that eternal looks like eternity.
No.
You don't think so?
Eternity has its own like it has 2 eyes instead of 6. It didn't look at all the same.
You're 100% right.
Of course I am.
It had a little like thing on this side. Okay, yeah, you're right.
But so if he didn't give up his life or transfer his life into bringing back love and he just made it happen, why does love have powers?
What powers does love have?
She had like the laser beam from her eyes.
Maybe because she's not human.
Gord didn't have any powers. If they had powers, maybe they could have done
Gord
something.
must have some powers.
Zero
but maybe
powers.
he just didn't use it.
I'm pretty sure it's 0 powers.
She had lasers from her eyes?
Yeah. It was weird. Remember she hits the pan where he's making pancakes?
Oh yeah. I didn't even like peep that.
So everybody's like on the internet, they're thinking like she took Eternity's powers or Eternity is her in some fashion. Now she's like ridiculously strong.
She's actually super strong, but I like honestly, they make superpowers so cheap in this movie.
Yeah.
Everyone has superpowers, but it's a Marvel world. But I do like how they made it normalized in that universe, like having superpowers.
Do you think we'll ever see, like, I feel like I'm giving up on the idea of seeing Thor as having the Thor force. In the comics, he gives up one of his eyes to the tree.
Yeah.
And he gains wisdom, whatever the fuck that means.
They'll probably do it towards like the end of his career when he's ready to retire.
He was almost ready to retire. That's the thing. You can't. Like, it's not a guarantee. He was like before Ragnarok. He was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. And then Ragnarok made it funny, and he was enjoying it. Now he's like, I'm down to do more.
But Ragnarok was a hit. I could see why he liked Ragnarok. Like
he said, it was fun to like, film it. Yeah. But this movie was a flop. So not a flop.
I wonder how he'd feel about this. But the Hercules scene seems so sick that like. I feel like he'll take up the Hercules scene.
It's sick, but in the comics, it's not a big thing. Like what I was saying earlier was like phase 1 to phase 4. Phase 4 ended up being the gauntlet, right? So now it's like, okay, you just fought like a big level baddie like Thanos. Now you're trying to fight Hercules. Like I don't think it's on the same scale.
But Hercules is half Zeus. I don't know.
So you'd expect Zeus to be stronger, and when I did the power scaling, Thor should be similar or maybe half step below.
I would be to be honest, I would be comfortable with whatever they do. I don't really care about power levels. Like power levels to me don't have to be consistent.
But that's what makes it sick. These superheroes are based off of the powers. Like the powers, like what makes it cool.
But they can just be written away or written off.
Yeah.
I just want to see a good fight between the two. I think they won't. I think they'll try and make it funny. But I want to see like a one-on-one like power fight. Not power like not like a one-on-one like creative. Like I wanted it to be creative. Like I want them to just be like doing certain.
But Hercules
doesn't
have any specific powers other than strength, right?
I think his biggest strength is power, or his biggest power is strength.
So how are they gonna do anything creative with that?
Because Hercules probably, I don't know enough about the Hercules lore. He probably has access to certain weapons. He probably has access to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I think they have something that they could work with, but I think they're gonna fumble it ultimately. I really think they're gonna fumble it. But now I'm so turned off by like the Thor movies a little bit. I'm wondering like what's next. What do they have for us next?
I think it's just gonna be Thor versus Hercules. I don't think we're gonna see Thor become like super strong. And that sucks because he's supposed to be like one of the strong, especially when Odin's gone. He's supposed to be the king, and I hated how he gave the king to Valkyrie. I'm like, holy, that shit.
But you don't feel like it's an issue when you make a character super strong, because then it ruins all like a majority of your storylines that you can do with that character. That's why I feel like now they've made it where like they've added too much power.
It ruins it for like the MCU because it has a linear thing, right? Where comics can take place anywhere and any time.
Yeah.
And there's different comic genre. That's where it does get tricky, but they are also getting paid millions of dollars. Billions, actually. So make it work somehow.
But you want to see, like, I want to see powers to I always feel like there should always be a max limit to, like, most powers, because, like, once you unleash another power, like, now the stories are going to be, like, I don't want to see two cosmic powers fight together. I want to see two...
But that's ultimately where we're going to be headed to, like, Eternals. We're seeing Eternity. We even saw the one above all or whatever.
I don't want to see that. I like humanized fighting.
But how? Okay, now we've seen them already. We've already seen Eternals. Now, how can a smaller fight be any like meaningful? You know?
I don't know. It just means meaning because it's just like like when Thanos, I think is gonna be the greatest because Thanos is like human. Like the fighting between them is like human. When I see like the Eternals fight, like it's gonna be kind of boring because they're gonna have to tell me why this X, Y, and Z works. Like I just can't, like, seeing it wouldn't be enough.
I feel like it's sick. Like when Wanda like leveled up, that was like cool to see because it like pays tribute to the comics where she really does snap, and she is a cosmic being where she's like that strong.
Wanda's an exception, kind of, because her powers, you could be way more creative with her powers and Doctor Strange's powers in general than like other supervillains fighting. But at the same time, like it kind of like actually WandaVision's not too bad, but I can see getting so big that they're gonna be like, why don't she just blow up the planet? Like she's so big, like why are they even fighting on the planet? She could just blow it up. That's the thing. That's the issue with like power skills, like, and making someone too powerful. Like if they have no limit, then you'll always be like, well, like she hit this attack, but she could have just blew up the planet and then everything would have been gone. Then she would have won the fight. It's like Superman.
But
like,
that's what Goku can do.
Yeah, that's why that's why I don't find Dragon Ball Z as interesting. At a certain point.
But he would never do it because it's not in his
But thing. The other person could. Like the villain could. That's why Dragon Ball.
He does. Frieza does.
Frieza, yeah, he blows up.
Blue does too. They do it.
Does Blue blow up a planet?
Yeah, he blows it up and then he survives.
Blue, which planet?
Earth.
But how did everyone come back?
The Dragon Ball.
Where did they go to get the Dragon Ball?
Planet Namek.
Oh yeah, so they go to Planet Namek again?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch like that far. Like I watched Dragon Ball. I watched Dragon Ball Z. I think I ended up watching it fully once, but it gets after.
You are right. After a certain amount of power scaling, like you can't go. You shouldn't be able to go further because then it like ruins the stories.
Yeah.
But these are also like comics. The one issue that everybody will have writing it is like, okay, how do you make this work together? But if everybody's getting stronger on the same level, then is anybody really getting stronger?
No.
Yeah, so that's what I'm like. Everybody should get stronger as like a group. Like if Wanda's going stronger, like Thor should level up, and Thor should especially level up because there's no more Odin. Like we need Odin. We didn't even get to see Odin. We didn't get to see the man.
Honestly, like it doesn't hurt me. Like I don't
hurts.
feel
That
the type of weight. Not being able to see him doesn't.
When I'm researching like comic stuff and I see like Odin's like powers, I'm like, whoa, this guy's a different animal. Like. And then just hearing like the rumors of like, that's why Thanos didn't want to go get the Tesseract first or any of that because he could have used the Tesseract to just like teleport to different spots to just grab the stone.
Would you know how to use it though?
He did. When he first got it, he used it like that, no problem.
Oh, okay.
But he wouldn't want to fight Odin. He didn't even move on planet. I think it was. He didn't move on the Collector, something like that. He didn't move on the Collector to grab the Reality Stone because the Collector fell into the realm of what Odin protected, which is crazy. Like that's how. Like it's just words, though. It's just words.
Like you want to see how
I want to see him do damage. Like why can't we? In this movie, it would have been crazy to see. Even if we don't see a Zeus versus Thor, they could have done a flashback between like glimpses of the Zeus versus Odin. At certain moments where they just disagreed and they just went at it, and we just see glimpses. That would be sick. Like, it's just been cool to see, but we don't get to see any of that. And it was like, okay, fine, we don't get to see Odin, but can you like level up? We just saw you progress. Now I feel like you declined. Like,
but when he gets to that power level, what do you want to see him do with that power?
The same shit. Like the Odin Force. I actually forget how it works, but it's like it fights against like the Phoenix Force. It has like crazy ability, the ability of him like giving powers to other people as Thor is kind of like an Odin thing. Like that was nice to see, but it didn't make sense. I feel like we saw you digress, and now you can do what Odin can do. Like it just felt weird. I don't know. Everything just felt off.
I can't lie. Like I can't lie. To me, is irrelevant. If this guy, as long as the story is good within that movie, that's good enough for me. And maybe they're digressing so that when he fights Hercules, that it makes more sense.
Did you like the storyline in this one, the gore?
Nah,
killing?
I didn't like gore. When they went to the planet, it was black and white. I didn't think that was that sick. The black and white was good for effect. Like, I think it was good for effect, but I didn't think that part was that good. Like, I only appreciated the part when they went to the Greek city. That's it. That's all.
It's not the Greeks.
Whatever, the Olympus.
City of the Gods.
City of the Gods, whatever. That was the only place that was, like, interesting to me. Other than that, like, I really didn't like the movie. Like, I'll keep it a buck. Like, the movie was just genuinely, like, I was not a fan of it. I definitely wouldn't recommend people paying any sort of money to watch it. Whether it's pounds, euros, pesos, like, I just wouldn't, like, recommend anyone watch it. Just wait till it pops out on Look Movie and then, like, watch it, and then you'll enjoy it that way. But in the movie theater, no. But I am excited to see some of the next Marvel movies. I don't know what's up next, but I'm excited to see what they come up with next.
She-Hulk is up next.
Oh, okay, I'm excited to see the next one after
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther, I'm sort of excited to see, just to see how, like, what they're gonna do, who's the replacement, like, what goes on. I feel like they're just gonna gonna throw a curveball because they've been throwing curveballs. So I feel like I just don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even have a thought.
Yo, they gotta reset the Marvel. I think they gotta reset the Marvel universe. That's a conversation for another time, but I think they gotta reset it. Like,
the multiverse is there, but they can't reset it because they have people like
so many things going on.
What's her name, Miss Marvel.
They're gonna, by 2045, we're gonna see a reset or something of the sort. Marvel, Disney's gonna be like, yo, this has gone too far. Reset it, and then we'll be watching a whole new story.
Or they'll just do what they're doing for Star Wars and interject things.
I hope they don't do that. That would ruin it. I think, oh man, they're just ruining it.
They're just ruining
it.
All right, we'll end off on the rating. What do you rate it at?
Honestly, I rate this. Oh dang. Using my anime list, I rated a 5, which is average.
I gave it a 6.5,
which is fine. I think 6 is fine on my anime list.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. There's a lot of issues with it, but you know, still has like a rewatch value later on in life.
I'm never rewatching it.
But that's it for us, guys. If you guys liked listening to the podcast, just leave a like for us, comment and subscribe, and just check out our other videos.
And then hopefully they come up with some good next time. Some like amazing. I hope they come up with something amazing. That's all I want.
You're gonna love She-Hulk.
No, I'm not. Easy.
All right, guys.